We're going to go ahead and get started, touch up on the overall market, get right into some economic data, and get right into our favorite main watch list. All right. So I hope you guys are starting your day right, starting your week. It's a short week. Again, we know Monday was off due to Independence Day. So usually on short weeks, expect a lot of volatility, elevated volatility in the market, again, based off of history. And again, coming into a short week, a 4-day week, again, can get a little volatile. So take your time on the market. Now, if you're watching the economic data for most of the week, we don't have anything going on today. We just have PMI composite at 9:45, so that's 15 minutes after open. Then when you move into Wednesday and Thursday, we start having FOMC minutes. So keep an eye out for that tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. We know it usually gets a little bit hectic, and we start seeing Powell speak. And again, Powell's not here, still on the list to speak tomorrow, but 2 p.m. Sometimes it's a 2-day event, so keep an eye out for that. Now, don't forget on Thursday also we have jobless claims, and we will be having our last but not least Fed balance sheet at 4:30 p.m. So again, week is a little packed with some economic data. Mostly the FOMC minutes is what I'll be looking out for. And again, the Fed balance sheet at 4:30 p.m. On Thursday, right? So let's get right into S&P 500. If you're watching /ES, I want to touch up on that 43.40. Again, that level we did see in the overnight session, a test of 43.48, and then we did see the Asian session actually close slightly lower. We did see the European session kind of drawing a consolidation on the statistical front. If you saw the American futures as well, they're actually flat into this morning, considering, again, Mondays are continuation to Fridays. Again, you had Monday off due to Independence Day, so Tuesday today is considered a Monday, so it's going to be a little bit lighter volume. If you've traded Friday, you've been seeing the volume as well was a little bit lighter, right? So we'll be watching our favorite levels on /ES. So if you're watching that 43.44, would love to use that as a overhead resistance into today. As you guys can see, 43.43, that handle, we're having a little bit of trouble to break over that range. That's also where your 200 simple moving average is. So really critical to break over that for some more upside. We'll start revisiting that 43.48 range. And again, if we start breaking out of that 43.48, we'll look for some more highs, another 10 handles over that range to potentially 43.58. And again, this is in a sense that we get some more volume, and we do get a rally on the overall market at the open. If things are going kind of sideways, it's expected in a short week. So, don't overtrade. Look for those high probability setups as we always speak, especially on a short week like this week, right? So again, take your time. We'll be also watching primary support at 43.33. Really critical to hold that level. But the moment we start breaking that to the downside, you'll start watching for that 43.18 and 43.09. And again, those are the same levels used from the newsletter. So for the people that got the newsletter, literally same level, we're using it. And again, we'll be watching. And again, if you don't have the newsletter, feel free to sign up for a 7-day free trial. It doesn't take much time, but you'll be right then and there to get that newsletter every day, 8:30 a.m. And we also get a post-market newsletter. Now, let's get a little bit into basics on our favorite watch list and touch up on the first company. I want to talk about Amazon. Again, I'm going to be looking to scalp Amazon potentially at the open if this sets up. Now, I've been seeing this setup on Amazon, and we'd love to see a continuation setup. We know that 3,500 level is very, very critical. I'm adding this mostly as a main watch at the open, and if it doesn't continue through that 35.26 level, then not biased on this trade, all right? So take your time on it. Let me send you guys the level so you can see what I'm seeing. And also send you that dark pool print at 35.10 so you kind of understand how important that 35.10 was on Friday. And just seeing the notional value at 874 million in premium. Let me send you guys what I'm seeing so you guys can see it as well. So you can see $874 million in notional value and about 249,000 in premium traded at that level, an order size at that level. So keep a look on Amazon for that 35.26. Again, potential 10-point scalp. Not biased on Amazon. If it doesn't hold 35.26 and close at the open, then I'm watching proper entry, and ideal entry is always at support. You guys can see ideal support is 35.10. So I'll be looking for a bounce trade if this sets up. If it rejects that 35.26, right now at the open, I'm seeing a little bit of trouble. It actually broke like 2 points over, but failing to close. So I'll be watching at the open. Rejects 35.26. We'll watch for distribution back to 35.10. And we'll look for that ideal entry off the bounce. Right now, if you just saw Amazon, it actually just broke through that 35.30. So I do have here a 10-point that's actually invalid. So if you're watching the scalp at the open, it actually just started breaking right now. So won't be taking that 35.26 break because it actually just happened as we're speaking. So I'm not taking Amazon scalp. Let me just point this out in the trading floor. Because again, I'm not looking to take a 4-point scalp. It already moved to 35.32. My target on this would have been 35.36, so it's a 4-point scalp. I'll actually watch for the rejection at 35.36, and if it can build back at support to 35.10, we'll be keeping a look at order flow and we'll be keeping a look at the tape. But I'd rather take a nice setup on this because I do see the upside range, and you guys can see it too. It's almost 10 points, and then retest of that 52-week high at 3554. So that's another maybe 20 handles, 20 points on this guy at 35.32. So take your time, not taking Amazon scalp at open, looking for bounce at 30 at support. All right. So if you're watching this, 35.26 is first support. I'm using that new resistance as that old resistance as a new support right now. And if we can hold 35.26 and close, that's fantastic. But if it can't hold 35.26, I'll look for a better entry at 35.10. Again, order flow is critical. Tape tells the story. So don't take on the long or short until you actually just confirm everything through Quant first, and then tape at times and sales and confirm it. All right. So now taking Amazon scalp at open, looking for bounce at support. So that's Amazon. And this is why this is kind of like my first watch, but not my main watch at the open. If it presents itself cool. If it doesn't, that's fine. Now let's talk about high probability setups because those are my favorite ones, right? INTC. Let's talk about that gap fill to the upside. So if you guys are watching INTC over that 59, we actually spoke about this, give or take, about 30 days ago into last quarter. That was actually testing that neckline on the daily chart. Nice confirmation setup and came all the way to that 58.50 and rejected. And then had almost a 3-point pullback. So seeing the setup right now on INTC, we've actually bottomed at support. Been watching the order flow looking a lot better. The whole sector is actually moving as well. So it's a nice high probability setup. And if you're watching that break over 59, it's bound to come and retest it again, or 58.50. But I'm looking for that gap fill trade, all right? So 58.50, that break and hold. I'm looking for that 2-pointer, 2-pointer and a half to 62. INTC is a very slow mover if you traded it prior. Just make sure you're sizing on the contracts as well. They're super cheap, in the money or at the money. Again, 60, 70 cents. You can really catch a good move with some size. But again, don't go out of your triple R risk reward ratio plan or risk reward plan. Very critical. But again, high probability setup, guys. If you're watching, the support is critical at 56.50 right now. I'll be watching that bounce again. Always ideal entry at 56.50. And if you watch that level, that was actually resistance on Friday. So it broke out on Friday, used 56.50 to bounce, failed to bounce. If you're watching on the 5-minute, about give or take 11.45, 11.50, and then use that level again, that old resistance as a new support. And now in the pre-market, we're actually holding 56.50. So it's a good setup, high probability setup. If it can continue, not biased on the gap fill. I've been seeing it before, push all the way to that range and reject. So this is a nice setup into this week and into a short week. All right, so take your time on INTC. Now, let's get a little bit into some Nvidia, right? Can't talk about INTC. Now talk about Nvidia. We've been seeing a huge move on Nvidia actually over the past 30 days, not just over last week or the week before. If you go back on the monthly, you probably noticed the video was maybe going for about $500. Beginning of June, it was actually going about 650, 655, 1st of June. So a month later, about 630, 635. A month later, it's almost up 200 points. All right. So again, anything that goes up can go higher. This is always something that you need to understand on the market. Don't be biased seeing the stock make a new all-time high and say it's not going to go higher. It will. And that's kind of the setup that we've been seeing with Nvidia. So again, respecting the order flow, seeing what's going on with Nvidia, super bullish, right? So keep a watch on that 832. That's a breakout of all-time high, but understanding we trade options, not ideal to go take a stock that's making a new all-time high in the pre-market session and long the momentum at the open. So if you want to take some Nvidia, ideal entry is at support, okay? Unless you're a momentum trader or you're looking for that high risk or that high risk, high reward trade, go scalping that 832, but it needs to close 832. And you can see there's a 7-point range to 840 with strong continuation. So take your time on this. If it actually pushes, you can see the range on Nvidia, but mostly we've been seeing at the open, we got a pre-market push, exhaustion move like the one we just have, consolidate, retest supports, and then build for a new momentum run. And that's kind of the pattern Nvidia has been trading in for the past week, all right? Past week and a half, actually. So take your time on this. Ideal entries at support. You can see support is 826. And I'm not biased if it can't hold 826. Would love to take that 6-point scalp real quick to 820. And again, 820 was prior resistance on Friday. So we're using literally prior supply and demand levels on the chart moving forward. And again, just placing ourselves in the right position And as you can see, 829, that would be a very, very nice bounce in the pre-market session. If you can't hold, we'll be taking it down under 826, right? So take your time. I love the 829, but I'm not taking my shorts yet until I see 826 clearance to the downside. And again, we'll be watching order flow and tape at the open. Now, let's move on beyond Nvidia and get into our last watch. All right. So if you're watching, our last watch is Tesla. Really, this is actually won't be my main watch at the open. I would love to see this clear the 685. Let me send you the level so you can see what I'm seeing. But we've traded this on Friday for a quick momentum run, made some good money on it. If you caught Tesla at the open, it was really just watching that 678 range to 685. If you saw Tesla, we had a massive push over that 678 to 685, and the stock actually rallied about 15 points to 700. So if you took that trade from Friday, congrats. It was a quick scalp at the open, but no FOMO on it because it did happen a little quick. No fear of missing out. Now, same setup is happening kind of in the morning. Would love to see continuation upon that break of 685. Right now, I did see a slight reject in the pre-market about 1.5 away, so can't be biased just of yet, but I want to see a confirmation continuation. And we did see the range that it actually broke out on Friday. So if it takes out 685, we know that we know the supply level all the way to 700. So take your time on this, right? So again, it's right now rejecting slightly in the pre-market session. Ideal entries at support, especially on this trade. If it rejects that 682, 684, 685, that's totally fine. I'm watching overhead resistance at 685, but ideal entry would be at that support, as you could see at 678. I'll be looking for a bounce trade at 678. If it can hold, not biased again, we'll be looking for a 4-point scalp. And understand that if Tesla comes under 670, there's another 4-pointer to 666. So we'll be watching to 666. Again, take your time. Economic data looking good right now. We don't have anything. So again, for the people that are just joining us, Amazon, again, won't be taking that scalp